Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared with selfliquid.com. So another pretty good update in the market overall. I mean, just across the landscape, there wasn't too many things in the red, but we're still really at this kind of interesting point. I am under the belief that this is really just a bounce before the selling resumes, and I'll kind of show you something at the end of this video that has me sort of concerned for just this could be a much bigger than what we've seen already. So if you just take a look at this, so this is a daily chart of the NASDAQ cash, and 6600, if you've been watching these videos, is sort of the area that I've talked about quite a few times where this is where I think, as the saying goes, the rubber meets the road for bulls. They're really going to have to get through this area if this rally is going to be sustained. And we're currently right above this first kind of big level. So from the high to the low here, you can see that it actually looks like, there we go. As you can see from the high to low swing here, we're at the 382 level. So this is the first pretty big level that we've reached. And from this most recent swing high to low, we're now getting near the 618 at 66.43. Now, two things I'll note is that we have closed above the 34 EMA, and to me that's, a bullish signal, but last time this happened, it was really just sort of a blow off top before the selling resumed. Now, I went in today short Facebook and Amazon, ended up closing both those positions, for a small loss. And it was really early this morning. Both were down. At one point, Facebook, or I can't even remember if it was Netflix or Facebook, was down about 1.5%. So made a little bit of money on Netflix, but closed Facebook for a loss. And I did actually reestablish a new short in tech that I want to go ahead and show you. So Amazon, much like Apple, really led things higher and lower. And this is sort of what I'm looking at in Amazon. So you can see that Amazon has had sort of a move past the 34 EMA, which is what I look at as the mean. And we are bumping up right against the 786 of this previous high to low swing. And then we've also met 100% of this low to high to low swing. So basically 100% of this previous swing we've now closed below twice. And just to kind of see, let me run one additional level here. So from the previous all-time high, yeah, and so we're actually, so that, makes me feel even more confident that this is, probably going to work out. So what I ended up doing in Amazon is I sold a call spread. So I sold the 1660 calls and bought the 1670s as protection. So even with, a test of this area up here, I should be fine. With the spread, that's sort of the beauty in it, is that uh, you don't necessarily, if you're wrong a direction immediately, you're not getting clobbered like you would with directional options. So with, all this overhead resistance here in Amazon, like I said, I sold call spread into the close here. With these squeezes setting up on the 13 and 39 minute chart, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a decent pullback going into tomorrow and Friday. So just a few others I want to review real quick. So I bought calls in NIM today, or Newmont Mining. So this is basically a long play in the metals market. And for similar reasons here, where I do believe that, we are going to see a continued run here in metals. And, I'm using Newmont as the vehicle to take advantage of that. And you can see here on a weekly chart, daily 195.78 and now 13, there's squeezes. And I'm looking for, the retest of this 34 EMA to continue to hold as it has each time it's tested it, and a move into 35.50. So that'll be really the target for this trade, is 35.50. We could get there faster depending on sort of how it acts. Depending on how the squeezes are looking, I may you know, I may go and take profits there or just take some off. It really just depends, but that's kind of the area I'm looking at for this trade. So last and definitely not least here, I want to show you an ETF for the real estate market. And I just show you this as sort of a way to drive home my case that I don't think we've seen the end of this selling. And I think, we're really in store for an actual bear market. Now, if, we maybe just chop all of 2019, I don't know how long this will take to play out. But let me just pull up the monthly chart of the Vanguard Index Fund ETF. So this is a monthly chart. And as you can see, I ran from the previous low, which was March of 2009, so that was basically the financial crisis, the crash, from that low to the more recent high, which was July of, actually it was of 2017, and then pretty much all of last year this thing has started to sell off. And this signal here, the squeeze, is basically showing you, basically, the red dots are showing you constriction of price movement or basically energy building up in the stock. And then when you get a green dot, this is basically a release of energy and you're going to get a bigger than average move here, typically. Now with this squeeze, looking like it's going to fire short, you can see the momentum red here. This basically just shows bearish momentum. This is something that I'm going to be watching for a good entry on a short here on this real estate ETF. And, a decent move would be just a 50% retracement. So that would put us at around $55, somewhere between 55 and call it 58. So that's a pretty big down move for real estate. And not to say that this is a perfect reflection of the health of the real estate market, but I think it's a pretty good indicator on how things are going. And right now, this looks very bearish to me. So that's just something I think is pretty important. I will admit it's an ETF I've really never looked at today. I just happened to be kind of looking at ETFs earlier, and I noticed how big this one was. And so to me, this is somewhat of a foreshadowing of maybe what's to come over the next year. So anyway, that's all I have for today. If you're enjoying these videos and, enjoying the analysis, please subscribe. It definitely motivates me to keep doing this. And if you have free time in the morning, come join me to trade the open from 9:30 Eastern to 10 Eastern. All right, take care. Have a good rest of your evening.